Shalom to the brethren. What up, though? Let's get it.
A gangster lives off a set of morals, codes, and principles. Gangbanger lives for the hood and makes destruction. The problem wasn't that you kept a gangster. It was the morals, codes, and principles that you lined up with. Yeah. I speak to demons the way I spoke to my enemies. I tell them where I'm from, and then I tell them how it's finna be. My words disrespectful to Satan. It's how we all prevail.
Hebrew wine.
God's gang on the walls of hell. The angels ride for me. I speak and they go to war. Kingdom G status. I represent the Holy Lord. You probably missed it, but I'ma stick to the facts though. Ambassador, I rep the king, ruling de facto. Look, the fact is you beef with him if you beefing with me. And you don't want these problems because my pops undefeated, you see. I'm with that BS Bible study. You did this. Showed me how to put on my armor and handle business. Look, a lot of people claim the hood, but they don't really get it. Ask around, my name is good because I'm really with it. I bring recruits and disciple them too. I'll continue to keep it gangster because I like what I do. It's God's gang. G-O-D-S-G-A-N-G, Jehovah, we be A-N-G. Come over here and bang with me. The G homie call it shots. I call them pops, so the hood react when I talk. And that's off the top. A civil war, the hood split before I came along. Pops put some busters off the set, cause they was banging wrong. Lucifer switched sides, he couldn't kick pride, so he got booted out of heaven. A big divide. He took a third of the turf with him. They wasn't loyal. Burning hell, they get hurt with him. Our love is royal. Blues for the heavens, reds for his blood. Christ gave his life for the gang. Now that's gangster love. The Bible is the G code. I live it because it's a letter from my road dog written in blood. I put my gun down and picked up the cannon. 66 shots in the clip. Let's get it cracking. I'm shooting for the truth, so we gunning lies down. Keep it gangster like who wanna ride now. It's God's gang. G-O-D-S-G-A-N-G, Jehovah, we be A-N-G. Come over here and bang with me. Set tripping, we on sight with the other side. Perfect hatred when I see it, ain't no love inside. We would talk with 2 or 3 are gathered, get it cracking. To rap back the enemy and send them back and kill the old me. When I started to bang now, my name's in the Lamb's Book of Life, I'm on gang file. I got a reputation, so my enemies know me, and I without no hesitation, get it in with my homies. The opposition got a mission, kill, steal, and destroy. I gotta get them, so I'm tripping. Hit the field and deploy, it's God's gang, no touch, no fear, no losses. Banged out, we spiritual bosses, that's gang. Stop tripping, homie, bang with me. Stop crippin', homie, bang with me. Stop thuggin', homie, bang with me. Stop bloodin', homie, bang with me. If you gon' bang, you need to bang the right hood. The blue is for the heavens and the red's for his blood. So if you gon' bang, you need to bang the right gang. Don't hit nobody up if you don't say the right name. It's that RPH. 3 G's in the C, you wanna bang? Come bang with me. That RPH, 3 G's in the C, you wanna bang? Come bang with me. Royal priesthood, God's gang, God copy. 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 Yeah, so we ain't gang, baby.
Shalom, brethren. Gonna get started here in a little bit. Let's give us a minute to get going.
Morals, codes, and principles lie in the word of God.
Waiting on my compatriot, my brother Kafer will be with us in a moment. Listen to the tune. I'm a slave, I'm a fail, and I know I deserve help. I'm ready if you will take me as I am. Yeah,
never really had much, and much never really had me. Nah, my middle name is Bad Luck. Pop the clutch, push my feelings to the back seat. Tormented, so it's hard for me to stay calm. Heart froze, other part of me, napalm. Last week they gave my big brody state time. In the visiting, I gotta hit the grapevine. Living, but that isn't what my sight sees. In my converse, I converse with death in the night's breeze. And I need to get it in with Christ, please. Where I'm from, they put the flame to the crank. Light speed. This narcissism's killing our society. No remorse for the aborted children that we slaughter. And I pray to be forgiven. There's a killer stuck inside of me, trying to fight my demons while I'm dealing with sobriety.
There's so many things out here that are playing my mind, and I do wanna come, but I don't wanna waste your time. I'm a sin, I'm a girl, and I know I need a girl. Or if you will take me as I am.
Unstable, so the flight just sank. I missed the plane. Blood and pain in my picture frame. Love was drain dry, brain fried pants, sitting flames. Same system, different game. Bad weather, this is rain tree shady. My baby died, and I ain't shed a tear. Ray Charles, haven't seen the other 3 in years. Living with sorrow, happiness and died here. Never listen like I'm deaf and I ain't got it here. Trapped in a man from the darkest part of the cat. Failure and never nothing on my heart and grave. Infatuated with the night, I don't know the day. And everything is beautiful before the case. Mama tried to leave the reaper twice. Scandalous, now we on the dice with life. Gambling, future looking like before the candle. If you
down,
the
big
light,
boy.
froze ice, and you gon' crash without
all
handling.
these shots walking.
And I do wanna come, but I don't wanna waste your time. I'm a sin, I'm a girl, and I know I is a girl. If you will take me as I am. So many things out here that are playing my mind.
And you stink. Get out of here. Get out of here.
I'm a sin, I'm a girl, and I know that is a girl. Already, if you will take me as I am.
For real, ay, I never really knew love, and love musta never knew me. So I kept a mag or the Uzi. Where you 4th Ave or you 2-3, Fab or you UZ. We get it fast, rip the last off the QP. A zip of hash in the stash of the hoopty. Burying my niggas while I drag on the old heroin and liquor, man, it's sad, but it soothed me. My Lil Relly just played and he lost 4. They shot my other nigga in the head, now he talk slow. The more you dream of is the top flow. And we wanna make bread, but it costs dough. I'm moving silence with my
Shalom, my heart. What's going on, Aki?
Had to get Big Boy together.
Playing.
Doing something.
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while you gotta grab him up, let him know.
Right.
You know? Thought he was something special. Get back, lay down. Well, shalom, brother. Glad to be back in the house.
Hallelujah. All the stand to Abba, Most High. All the you.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Well, we are back for another Mark 67 podcast. Kafa and Brandon. Do this thing again, man. How you been, brother?
Man, I've been, man. Let me tell you that. I'm gonna say that. I've been. How about
that? Listen, what is life without some thrill?
I'm telling you, man. Please tell me about it.
We need that fire. All you ladies and gentlemen out there watching, listen. Don't be you know, when you find temptation and find trial, don't wonder about what's going on. Wonder about what's on the other side of that thing.
That's right.
I'm talking about there's a promise on the other side of it.
Hallelujah.
You know, that's what you got to look for, not what's going on in between time.
Right.
But what's gonna happen when you make it through?
Hallelujah.
You know, it's easy to quit.
Yeah, it really is.
To quit. But the winners
want to do so.
press on.
Well, Shalom, my brother. Congratulations on the little one.
Yes.
The gift.
Yes.
Yeah. Today was the 8th day. My brother went and got the baby circumcised. I mean, the baby fresh in the covenant. Starting off right.
Starting off, for all praise to the Most High, man. Came in hearing them scripts. Only right did he live them out.
That's right.
It's only right. It's only right, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be a part of it, man. Be a part of prophecy, to be a part of the in the land of their captivities, they shall bethink themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's
happy
right.
to be a part of that thing, man. Happy to be a part of it, man. All praises. Everybody healthy and happy.
And the Most High allowed us and appointed us to be in a time such as this, at this time, man. And that's an honor in itself, considering that he allowed us to wake up at this time as well, and being back into his covenant to do so, that you're able to even to do what you're doing with your child like you're doing it, man. Come on, man.
To accomplish it.
Come on, man.
You know, 8th day circumcision. I remember one time, man, I was, you know, slinging meat to eat. 3 hot. You know, I was out here bad. I wouldn't have listened.
Man, we all got a story, man.
I was not holding my office. You know what I'm talking about? So be here.
We all got
overseeing circumcision and becoming a doula. Listen, man, we need more Hebrews in these offices, man. Why I gotta go to the heathen to get my circumcision? Why I gotta go to the heathen to have midwives, man?
That's real.
Listen, there's more to this walk than just fringes, man. We gotta like get this whole captivity mindset out, man. This we can't do because we in our captivity. No, man. You know, the prophets still did them. They lived in a way that was pleasing to the Most High, and their enemies had to be at peace with them, and they was able to live the life of an Israelite in all their captivities, man.
Facts.
So it ain't no excuse, man. And we means to bring that out. You know, ain't no, our forefathers was built stronger. They faced trials and temptations. They faced death, but they faced it with courage, man. Especially our Abba Abraham. We're gonna get into that thing. What'd you think about that?
Oh, that Jasher?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, you know, Jasher, it put a lot of pieces to the puzzle that was missing, man, in Genesis and Bereshit, man, that you don't hear about. A lot of different things that you don't even know that's beneficial to know for us as the people, as the seed of Father Abraham, man. Knowing where he came from and what he did and how he was raised up and the situation that he experienced and stuff like that, even about his life and his early time before like how we got introduced to him, you know, in the 66. They don't think about what it speaks about it. Yash, it's a good thing, man. I'm excited to get into this thing, man.
One of these days, we gonna get into that plagues of Egypt. You think you know about what happened in Egypt? You don't know how bad that thing was. Look, it said over and over again, but the quote unquote Lord would not relent in his anger against the Egyptians. It said it over and over for each plague, but yet and still he would not relent. Yet and still he would not relent. Listen, man, you don't want my Abba upset with you, man.
That's right, man. That's real.
You don't want to bring a mighty hand, man. That's another reason for this podcast, that we trying to, you know, help our brothers and sisters escape from judgment. You know, we trying to help to build a confidence and a zeal,
right,
to stand in the face of temptation and trial, you know, by giving you stories of our ancestors and giving you different scriptures to help, for one, convict wickedness.
Right.
The main thing, we not holding no tongues. Ain't no sweet tongues. Sweet nothing's gonna be whispered in your ear on this podcast. Ain't none of that going on. You know what I'm saying? And then we also, you know, we got to bring that fire, man. You know, as my brother can testify, sometimes that fire, man, is necessary. You know what I'm talking about? That fire can be necessary sometimes. Now, listen, a couple weeks ago, you fired.
Spread out, talk about it.
But after coming on the other end of that thing, no,
Yeah.
how sweet it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, let's get into this thing, man. Share the whole screen with the audio. Let's get into this Jasher 8. We're gonna start off with the birth of Abraham. I don't even tell you about the birth. Now his daddy, later on, he did start to bother me, but right here, I gotta give him all props for this right here. I gotta give him all props. He's a smart man. He wouldn't know
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's what I seen too. You're
He
right.
went, he was not number two in the land for no reason.
Mhm.
He was number two. He was like Joseph in the land now,
Right.
but on the wicked side of things.
Right.
Idol worshiper get you. But anyway, okay. The Book of Jasher, chapter 8. And it was in the night that Abram was born. This is before he became the father of many nations, Abraham. That all the servants of Terah, his father, and all the wise men of Nimrod and his conjurers came and ate and drank in the house of Terah, and they rejoiced with him on that night. And when all the wise men and conjurers went out from the house of Terah, they lifted up their eyes toward heaven that night to look at the stars. And they saw, and behold, one very large star came from the east and ran in the heaven. And he swallowed up the four stars from the four sides of heavens. Hey, quick side note.
Mm-hmm.
Prophecies deal in a lot of fours, man.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Like,
of fours.
like the plagues.
Four winds, four plagues,
Mm-hmm.
four
Four horsemen. Mm-hmm.
a lot of fours in that thing.
Right.
I'm gonna throw that out there. And all the wise men of the king and his conjurers. See, these are wizards and warlocks.
Sorcerers. Mm-hmm. Like
See how old this thing is. Harry Potter and them go all the way back to Nimrod.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter and them ain't new, man.
Yeah.
Were astonished
Yeah.
at the sight. And the sages understood this matter. See, they got some sense. They got right. They got foreknowledge. And they knew its import. And they said to each other, this only betokens the child that has been born to Terah this night, who will grow up and be fruitful and multiply and possess all the earth. He and his children forever, and he and his seed will slay great kings and inherit their lands. And the wise men and conjurers went home that night, and in the morning, all these wise men and conjurers rose up early and assembled in an appointed house. And they spoke and said to each other, behold, the sight that we saw last night is hidden from the king. It has not been made known to him. And should this thing get known to the king in the latter days, he will say to us, why have you concealed this matter from me? And then we shall all suffer death. Therefore, now let us go and tell the king the sight which we saw and the interpretation thereof, and we shall then remain clear. And they did so, and they all went to the king and bowed down to him to the ground, and they said, may the king live, may the king live. We heard that a son was born to Terah, the son of Nahor, the prince of thy host. And we yesternight came to his house, and we ate and drank and rejoiced with him that night. Now they telling on him in the morning. And when thy servants went out from the house of Terah to go to our respective homes to abide there for the night, we lifted up our eyes to heaven, and we saw a great star coming from the east. And the same star ran with great speed and swallowed up four great stars from the four sides of the heavens. And thy servants were astonished at the sight which we saw, and were greatly terrified, and we made our judgment upon the sight, and knew by our wisdom the proper interpretation thereof, that this thing applies to the child that is born to Terah. We will grow up, who will grow up and multiply greatly and become powerful, and kill all the kings of the earth and inherit their lands, he and his seed forever. And now our Lord and King. Now, mind you, this ain't went away. Say him and his seed. Don't we
That's
call
right.
ourselves the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob?
That's right.
This is why they kill you, Negro.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they keep you in bondage. The same prophecy. That's a side note. And now our Lord and King, behold, we have truly acquainted thee with what we have seen concerning this child. If it seemeth good to the king to give his father value for this child,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't even supposed to do all that. They was just supposed to tell him what it was and be done with it. Now they want to help. Right? We will slay him
Okay.
before he shall grow up and increase in the land, and his evil increase. Now they want to kill him. You see how?
Mm.
Hey man, when you scared, you gotta say anything, man.
Man.
Look, they was just supposed to tell the man to keep it moving so he don't find out later and get there. Now they want to help kill the man child that they ate and drunk with all night. That's why I said
Right.
the wicked man ain't got no bounds, man.
No.
They ain't got no bounds at all. And his evil increase against us, that we and our children perish through his evil. And the king heard their words, and they seemed good in his sight, and he sent and called for Terah. And Terah came before the king. And the king said to Terah, I have been told that a son was yesternight born to thee, and after this manner was observed in the heavens at his birth. And now, therefore, give me the child that we may slay him before his evil springs up against us. And I will give thee for his value thy house full of silver and gold. And Terah answered the king and said to him, My lord and king, I have heard thy words, and thy servant shall do all that his king desireth. But, my lord and king, I will tell thee what happened to me yesternight, that I may see what advice the king will give his servant. And I will answer the king upon what he has just spoken. And the king said, Speak. And Terah said to the king, Aon, son of Mored,
Mm-hmm.
came to me yesternight, saying, Give unto me the great and beautiful horse that the king gave thee, and I will give thee silver and gold and straw and provender for its value. And I said to him, Wait till I see the king concerning thy words. And behold, whatever the king saith, that will I do. And now, my lord and king, behold, I have made this thing known to thee. And the advice which my king will give unto his servant, that will I do. And the king heard the words of Terah, and his anger was kindled, and he considered him in the light of a fool.
Hmm.
And the king answered Terah and said to him, Art thou so silly, ignorant, and deficient? Now listen, these words gonna come back to the king.
That's right. That's right.
it took a little while. Somebody asked him that same question.
Mm-hmm.
Art thou so silly, ignorant, and deficient in understanding
Mm.
to do this thing, to give thy beautiful horse for silver and gold, even for straw and provender? Art thou so short of silver and gold that thou shouldest do this thing, because thou canst not obtain straw and provender to feed thy horse? And what is silver and gold to thee, or straw and provender,
Mm-hmm.
that thou shouldest give away that fine horse which I gave thee, like which there is none to be had on the whole earth? And listen, man, we got to kind of speak on this thing. This is where common sense don't be so common. You would think while he's saying this, he said, Now hold on. I see what you doing here.
Right.
But in his greed and his fear,
Mm-hmm.
the man done lost good sense
Mm-hmm.
while trying to give it. Here he is trying to impart wisdom, and he's showing he ain't got none.
Right. He had to be presented to him so he can catch it first off. And that's why he said, when you said earlier, Terror had good sense. That's why he wasn't second to the king for nothing. You know what I mean? So
Right, yeah.
that's a good thing that you pointed out like that, man. Yeah, he had to bring that proverb to him so he can catch it and see it, so he can backdoor him with the same little thing with him, so he can get, so he can see where he coming from, where Terror coming from with his own son. So yeah, let's continue.
All right. And the king left off speaking, and Terror answered the king, saying, Like unto this has the king spoken to his servant.
Mm-hmm.
I beseech thee, my lord and king, what is this which thou didst say unto me, saying, give thy son that we may slay him, and I will give thee silver and gold for his value. What shall I do with silver and gold after the death of my son? Who shall inherit me? Surely then at my death the silver and gold will return to my king who gave it.
Mm.
And when the king heard the words of terror and the parable which he brought concerning the king, it grieved him greatly. See, this is what understanding of the truth does to the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna grieve them greatly,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna find a way to kill you.
Dang.
And he was vexed at this thing, and his anger burned within him.
Mm.
And Terah saw that the anger of the king was kindled against him, and he answered the king. See, he's smart again. You
Mm.
better calm that fire down.
Pay attention.
All that I have is in the king's power. There you go. Coax his ego.
Mm.
Whatever
Stroke.
the king desired to do to his servant, let him do. Yea, even my son, he is in the king's power. Without value in exchange, he and his two brothers that are older than he. And the king said to Terah, no, but I will purchase thy younger son for a price.
Mm.
Still trying to man, something else. And Terah answered the king, saying, I beseech thee, my lord and king, to let thy servant speak a word before thee. And let the king hear the word of his servant. And Terah said, let my king give me 3 days' time till I consider this matter within myself and consult with my family concerning the words of my king. And he pressed the king greatly to agree to this. And the king hearkened to Terah, and he did so. And he gave him 3 days' time. And Terah went out from the king's presence, and he came home to his family and spoke to them all the words of the king, and the people were greatly afraid. And it was on the 3rd day that the king sent to Terah, saying, send me thy son for a price, as I spoke to thee. And shouldest thou not do this, I will send and slay all thou hast in thy house. He talking like David, ain't he? Everything that pisses
Everything piss against the wall.
so that thou shalt not even have a dog remain.
Mm.
And Terah hastened, as the thing was urgent from the king. And he took a child from one of his servants, which his handmaid had born to him that day. And Terah brought the child to the king and received value for him. And the Lord was with Terah. See, now this is what's gonna have a Christian scratching their head right here.
I'm telling you, speak on it, please.
This a cold hard truth, man.
Mm.
Some people just pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
So look, vessels meant for the fire.
Mm.
Vessels of dishonor. It just, now this was a servant, which was more than likely, probably a Canaanite or Hamite of some sort.
Nevertheless, it was a servant, and not only that, a child that took the place was a sacrifice for the place of Father Abraham, for him to die, so Father Abraham can live, to produce that righteous seed and that righteous fruit that the Most High wanted in the first place. And it says, look, and Yah was with
Terah
in this matter.
Yes.
Look at that.
That Nimrod might not cause Abram's death.
Mm-hmm.
And the king took the child from Terah and with all his might dashed his head to the ground, for he thought it had been Abram.
Real quick, before you finish, I want to say this real quick too, as some understanding for the people, so they can have some edification. Look, that's where you hear this saying that people don't even make a connection with, that all things work together for the good for them that love Yah and called according to His purpose. This is where Elder Yahweh be speaking at so many times when he be talking about predestined, foreknew. Because Abraham was foreknew. He was predetermined for this cause, and because of that, the Most High made provision for a means of escape for him to live by giving that servant life for his life. You get what I'm saying? Now, Christians in this chapter, like, that don't make sense. That don't. He would do something. See, they talking foolishly. You get what I'm saying?
They trying to cleave on to some kind of hope, because if he could do that to an innocent one, how much he gonna do to those that slay his beloved and the children of those that slay his beloved if they continue on in wickedness? So that's just a hope. Like, no, it ain't like that. He ain't like that. He love everybody. You
Okay.
know?
Look.
Okay, watch yourself now.
Yeah, right.
Watch yourself now. This is the book. They say, is it not written in the book of Jasher? This is it.
Mm,
It's documented now.
there you go.
Ain't no getting out of this thing. You better repent, change your ways.
Right.
And the Lord was with no, hold on, and took Abram his son secretly together with his mother and nurse, and concealed them in a cave, and he brought them their provisions monthly. And the Lord was with Abram in the cave, and he grew up, and Abram was in the cave 10 years. And the king and his princes, soothsayers and sages, thought that the king had killed Abram.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's continue on because it gets deeper now when he come up out that cave. And Haran, the son of Terah, Abram's oldest brother, took a wife in those days. We need to skip this. This ain't got nothing to do with the story. I mean, it does. I mean, this explains how Abraham was married to. Okay, no, we need to
Yeah,
start.
so basically, people, family, when y'all are listening, when y'all got time, just go over there, Josh, and read it for yourself so you can get into it, so you can get in full depth of what's really transpiring from that time when he's born and escaped the cave and came out of the cave to the time that we're about to read to. So you can get your
I'm gonna start at 5.
due diligence, start reading for yourself and get in there so you can see it. All right.
And Abram came out from the cave and went to Noah and his son Shem. They
Mm-hmm.
don't tell you about this in your regular Bibles. You wouldn't have never known Noah and Shem was still alive at the time of Abraham's birth,
Right.
but they were. And he remained with them to learn the instruction of the Lord and his ways. Let's fix that. Of Yahweh and his ways.
Right. Real quick before you finish it. So these instructions right here, the other word for the instructions is the Torah. So he sat there and learned the Torah, the instructions, because that's what Torah means. Not just law. It's more than just law. It's law. It's instructions. Instruction it involves laws, statutes, and commandments in Torah. So that he learned the instruction, the Torahs of Yahweh and his ways. Go ahead.
And no man knew where Abram was, and Abram served Noah and Shem, his son, for a long time. You gotta put some work in this thing, man.
That's right.
And Abram was in Noah's house 39 years.
That's older than me.
This man still ain't got married. Older than me too.
Yeah.
I don't think that's another thing that was lost on our culture. Most of our men didn't get married until they was in their, late 30s, 40s. Benjamin, I think he got married young, and I think Isaac was 40, wasn't he?
Somebody got married at the age of 20.
Yahuda. I think that was Benjamin too.
That was Benjamin. Okay, Yahuda father, I think he got married at the age of 20. Because he actually married the Canaanite woman at the age of 20, I believe.
Okay.
In the testimony of Yahuda. Right.
It did not work out well for him against his
father.
father.
No, it didn't. It did not. Yeah.
All right.
Wicked.
And Abram was in Noah's house 39 years, and Abram knew Yahweh from 3 years old, and he went in the ways of Yahweh until the day of his death. And Noah and his son Shem had taught him, and all the sons of the earth. Real quick, what you learn in Jasher and Jubilees is that all of our forefathers learned from the previous generation, or from the generation before that. What the Most High did to us when he said he's going to cut us off at the root was that we don't have a generation to learn from for real. Not his ways. We can learn, recipes and, wives' tales and whatnot. But as far as like the Torah, he cut us off at the root, man. It takes the Ruach and the scriptures working together to learn this thing. They got it straight from people that like lived through it and really dealt with the Most High.
Right.
We don't have, now we kind of get a straighter line almost with the ruach for real. Anyway, just a little side thought in there. And all his, as Noah and his son Shem had taught him, and all the sons of the earth in those days greatly transgressed against Yahweh, and they rebelled against him, and they served other gods,
Mm-hmm.
and they forgot Yahweh who had created them in the earth, and the inhabitants of the earth made unto themselves at that time every man his god, gods of wood and stone, which could neither speak, hear, nor deliver. And the sons of men served them, and they became their gods.
Mm.
And the king and all his servants, and Terah with all his household, were then the first of those that served gods of wood and stone. Woo! Abraham came from that.
Mm-hmm.
Terah and Terah had 12 gods of large size, made of wood and stone. After the 12 months of the year, you wonder where these names and stuff come from, man. This stuff ain't new.
Right.
All this Cancer and Pisces and Taurus and all this stuff is pagan worship, man.
Even the names of the month itself. Right.
Yeah. Quit going by that. Put that stuff down, man. I'm a Pisces. I'm a Gemini. I'm this. I'm that. Cause I'm this and I'm that. Man, put that stuff down, man. That stuff is God's, man. The Most High don't approve of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
After the 12 months of, let me just read that over. And Terah had 12 gods of large size, made of wood and stone, after the 12 months of the year. And he served each one monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Every month, Terah would bring his meat offering and drink offering to his gods. Thus did Terah all the days.
Real quick, that's like in the month of January, which the false deity Janus, he'll come and serve that one in that month, bringing them food and drink, and then the next one go on to the next one doing the same thing every month. That's crazy.
And all that generation were wicked in the sight of Yahweh.
That's right.
So what you think you is today, talking about Pisces and Cancers and all this stuff, man? I used to do that stuff. I don't do it no more, man. I don't care nothing about that stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me nothing about your sign.
Right.
What's your name? What's your sign? Get out of here with that. And they thus made every man his god, but they forsook Yahweh who had created them. And there was not a man found in those days in the whole earth who knew Yahweh.
Nobody.
They served each man his own God, except Noah and his household.
Mm-hmm.
All those who were under his counsel knew Yahweh in those days. Right. And Abraham, the son of Terah, was waxing great in those days in the house of Noah, and no man knew it. And Yahweh was with him. And Yahweh gave Abram an understanding heart.
Right.
And he knew all the works of that generation were vain. Mm-hmm. You see this separation, not no blending and mixing. Not I'm cool with some of it.
Right.
I know I ain't supposed to do it, but it's January. I'll go hang with my daddy now. They're having a feast at the house. They've been doing this since I was a kid. I'm gonna go get a plate.
Yeah, and February coming, man. Valentine's Day. I got to do this. If I don't do this, my girl gonna trip because
for my baby. It's for the
kid. Off. Listen, real quick. 11 says that Abraham, the son of Terah, was waxing great in those days in the house of Noah, and no man knew it. And Yahweh was with him. Look, and Yahweh gave Abraham an understanding heart, and he knew all the works of that were vain, and that all the gods were vain and were of no avail.
Ain't worth a damn.
That's right. All the deities are gods of the nations are idols, wood and stone. Jesus too. Yeah, for everybody out there telling we ain't talking about the same Jesus. We talking about Jesus. We know that Jesus is an idol. that JSUA, because that ain't the name of them. It's connected to an idol. You see what it's connected to? A white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. And then our people got enough nerve to come around and make one in a black image or a brown skinned image or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Say, this is the Jesus we talk. No, that's wrong too.
That's wrong too. You don't know what the man look like.
Don't know what he looked like at all. He told us not
to
do whatsoever. He said, don't make no images in the heavens above, on the earth beneath, whatsoever, black or white. Period. Yeah. Let's get that.
Bow down and worship them. Don't do it. We're gonna see what happens with that.
Right.
And Abraham saw the sun shining upon the earth. And Abram said unto himself, surely now this sun that shines upon the earth is Yahweh, and him will I serve. Abram, you're going a little off there. And Abram saw the sun in that day, and he prayed to him. And when evening came, the sun set as usual, and Abram said within himself, surely this cannot be Yahweh. And Abram still continued to speak within himself, who is he who made the heavens and the earth, who created upon the earth? Where is he? And night darkened over him. And he lifted up his eyes toward west, north, south, and east. And he saw that the sun had vanished from the earth, and the day became dark. And Abram saw the stars and the moon before him, and he said, surely this is Yahweh who created the whole earth as well as man. And behold, these his servants are gods around him. And Abram served the moon and prayed to it all that night. And in the morning, when it was light, the sun shone upon the earth as usual. Abram saw all the things that the Adonai Yahweh had made upon the earth. And Abram said unto himself, surely these are not gods that made the earth and all mankind, but these are the servants of Yahweh. And Abram remained in the house of Noah, and there knew the Adonai and his way, Yahweh his ways, and served Yahweh all the days of his life. And all that generation forgot Yahweh and served other gods of wood and stone, and rebelled all their days. Oh, this wood and stone ain't just come with Christianity, man. We got to understand that it's the big thing saying Christianity and Islam. But listen, this stuff existed way before that, man.
Right. But real quick, I want the people to know too. Christianity got their stuff from somebody that came before them as well. So this is a passing down. Right. It's a passing down from that. Like, say for instance, Babylon came first. Egypt with their false deities and all of those stuff, they are offspring of Babylon itself too. You see what I'm saying? And then even from that, with the even we're gonna fast forward to Christianity and that stuff that they did, or even the Greeks, they got their stuff from the Egyptian way, which all come from Babylon. That's what you was talking about earlier about the the Most High being force. Well, in the Book of Daniel, when it's talking about the four different beasts, that's the same thing. Babylon, Medo Persia, Greece, and Rome. What we in now? You know what I mean? So, that's all that stuff that comes from that beginning right there. And it's the same thing. And we being Abraham's seed, I wanted to speak on that earlier too. A seed. Now, when the Most High created fruit, we know that he created seed in the fruit to produce after its own kind. So when it's talking about Abraham and his seed, which is it's not just talking about the people that he progenerated that just come from this according to the flesh, but it's the same type of people, or the same type that produce the same works as Father Abraham himself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good. Hold on. I think we lost you, brother. Hello? Brother Cable.
We being seen, we follow the same footsteps of our father Abraham, serving the true and living mighty one.
You just I just want to bring that out too, brother. And you came back in, sound like R2D2 or something, man.
I was saying that we being the seed of Father Abraham produces the same works as Father Abraham. So let's not get it twisted. I'm thinking that we're just because we born of Father Abraham, that we are the seed of Abraham, because the seed of Abraham is more than just a fleshly thing. It's a spiritual thing. So if you're not lining up with the same type of works as Father Abraham, you cannot truthfully and say that you're the seed of Father Abraham.
Oh, yeah. We about to get into these works. Part of these works is casting down idols.
That's right. Let's get it.
When everybody around you is involved in wickedness, you got to stand for the Most High.
That's right.
And his Torah, his instructions. We about to get into this thing, man. Ain't no excuses. Abraham
right.
put his life on the line. The 3 Hebrew boys put their life on the line.
That's
Hamashiach
right.
put his life on the line. Moses put his life on the line. Isaac put his life on the line.
Let's get
David
it.
put his life on the line. Everybody put their life on the line. Whether it happened, like the Hebrew boys say, he is more than able.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he should not, we will not serve before you. We will not bow down before you, oh king.
Right, oh king.
That ain't no joke, man. I heard out here caving for less. Ain't nobody put no pressure on you or nothing. You just gave in. I mean, it happens. So if it happens, you be renewed and rise. You be strengthened and uplift your brothers, man.
That's
It can
right.
happen to any of us.
That's right.
But it's just more of a reason to be more on guard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not trying to convict the brothers and the sisters, but just to alert them and encourage them to be zealous.
Right. Now that's good. You bring that out. Cause we need to hear that because we can look. We must take heed every day, man. Be careful how you stand, because you know at least you fall. You have to be mindful of these things. And Kepha, Peter, I'm talking about Peter. Kepha said it's a terrible thing to fall in the hands of the living mighty one. You know what I mean? It's a reason why he said that. I'm trying to tell you. You get what I'm saying? Reason why he said that. He had to experience something for him to say it's a terrible thing to fall in the hands of the living Elohim. You know what I mean? The living Elohim. So,
we're gonna read about the plagues of Egypt, man. One of these days. We ain't gonna do it tonight, but listen, the plagues of Egypt in the Book of Jasher is probably 10 times worse than what you think it is. What you read in Exodus. It's worse. It's worse. Terrible thing to fall into the hands of the living Elohim.
I'm telling you.
And Abraham said unto himself, surely these are not gods that made the earth and the earth and all mankind, but these are the servants of God. No, we passed that. We on 20. And King Nimrod reigned securely, and all the earth was under his control, and all the earth was of one tongue and words of union. We need unity, but under righteousness.
Right.
We need unity and righteousness, not in Torah. We don't need it just, everybody love everybody, a melting pot of wickedness. We don't need that. And all the princes of Nimrod and his great men took counsel together. Phut, Mizraim, Cush, and Canaan. You see what this is?
I'm trying to tell you exactly. That's Mizraim and Ham. They was in cahoots together. So when Babylon, when Nimrod and them all fell, they went their way. They carried on that same type of spirit in their own land, doing their thing with the idols and all these different things of what they was doing.
Think about this too. At the highest levels, white people worship black gods.
That's right. Still do. They still do.
Yeah. They worshiping these people.
That's right.
When they talk about the ISIS and what's the little boy and stuff that that was born from the penis being chopped off and all that. What's his name? Man?
Hold on, wait. Let me see. Man, what's that guy's name? Man, it's
Baby Bound.
Tammuz.
Tammuz and all that. These are black people. These are Hamites.
Right.
At the highest level, they worship people with darker skin than us.
Yep, Seth, Herod. I'm not Herod, but Hero. What's that guy's name? Some other little thing. I don't know. I don't be following all those things, man. So I ain't fresh on my mind. I don't know.
They tried to whitewash it, but in essence, these people are black.
That's right.
White statues, but they used to be black statues.
Right.
They still got black statues, really.
Facts.
Look these names up in Egypt. Anyway, with
Hebrew.
their families. And they said to each other, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, and in it a strong tower, and its top reaching heaven. And we will make ourselves famed, that we may reign upon the whole world, in order that the evil of our enemies may cease from us, that we may reign mightily over them, that we may not become scattered over the earth on account of their way." Okay, this is the start of the building of the Tower of Babel. We're gonna skip past this because we're not really concerned with that right now. We're concerned with Abraham and
Yeah.
and how he handled himself and conducted
Right.
himself in the midst of all this wickedness.
And real quick, shout out to Elder Yahweh Yisrael, man.
There's a lot of meat on that bone.
A lot of meat on that bone right there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Elder Yahweh. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's go back here. Jasher 10. And Peleg, the son of Eber, died in those days, in the 48th year of the life of Abraham, son of Terah. Oh no, we need to skip on down. No, children. Let's check. This is all explaining how after the spread, after everybody was spread out and everything, how it happened and all the houses and all that. Read that in your free time. This
Mhm.
is okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, Jasher 11 verse 14. No, verse 13. And in the 50th year of the life of Abram, son of Terah, Abram came forth from the house of Noah and went to his father's house. He going back home. 50
Mhm.
years later, he finally get to come out of hiding. For those of you that think, you know, the Most High move fast.
Right. Like he just popped on the scene and the Most High just told
No,
him, get up and go.
no, no. It takes time. You gotta plant this seed. Get that
Mhm.
thing deeply rooted in there.
Right.
It took them what 49 years to get that thing in there right.
Mm.
And Abram knew Yahweh, and he went in his ways and instructions, and Yahweh his Elohim was with him. And Terah, his father, was in those days still captain of the host of King Nimrod, and still followed strange gods. He came up. He came up in his wickedness. Now,
Mhm.
see, for those of you that are not of the mind of keeping Torah and being righteous, you want to follow the ways of the heathen, right? You money, 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 money. See, Terah is in the height of the money.
Mhm.
The only person got more money than Terah is King Nimrod.
That's right.
And he done sold out for this money because he's worshiping pagan gods. So, you know, he know what he doing. This is crazy. We gonna get into that. We gonna get into that. And Abram came to his father's house and saw 12 gods standing there in their temple. And the anger of Abram was kindled when he saw these images in his father's house. A lot of us, we got to be like this. We got to get angry at some of this stuff we see, man. If you out here just, oh, whatever, that's them. No, ain't no such thing. This thing got to make you mad. Somebody going against the arbor, somebody going against the grain.
Mhm.
Gotta bother you. It bothers me. That's why I'm on this podcast. Bother my
Speaking
brother.
of,
That's why he on there.
that's right.
And Abram said, as Yahweh liveth, these images shall not remain in my father's house. So shall Yahweh who created me do unto me, if in 3 days' time I do not break them all.
He was on a mission. I'm
He
gonna
said,
break all these.
man, we can't even wait too long about this thing. You gotta hurry up. And Abram went from them, and his anger burned within him. And Abram hastened and went from the chamber to his father's outer court. He found his father sitting in the court, and all his servants with him. And Abram came and sat before. This is king. This is kingship.
Mhm.
First of all, if Nimrod was king, his daddy Ham, right?
Mhm.
What type of office you think Noah had sitting up in that cave? You think he was in rags? You got to think Noah is the father of all them folks.
Right. Nimrod, son of Cush, son of Ham.
So you got to think Noah was sitting up in that cave real kingly. And Abraham then went and then absorbed all this knowledge and all this game. So
That's
when he
right.
comes back out, he's still amongst kinghood. Just
That's
like
right.
Moses. You will find out later on in Jasher, you find out that Abraham, after being in Pharaoh's house, went out and had his own kingdom for like several years before he came back to rule. These people don't just get in power just out of nowhere. All these, flash in the pan mores and pastors. You got to go through something. You got to learn something from somewhere.
Right.
Get this thing, man. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there. And Abram asked his father, saying, "Father, tell me where is he wouldn't have said Yahweh there. He would have said, where is Elohim, who created heaven and the earth and all the heavens of men upon earth, and who created thee and me?" And Terah answered his son Abram, "Behold, those who created us are all with us in this house." This is when you have to realize that insanity is a real thing.
I'm telling you, wasn't he sharper than that? He showed some sharpness when he was talking to the king to tell him, hey, and he gave him a parable and to bring the thing back full circle.
And look, it's only temporary. This has to be a type of demonic possession, because here in a couple more paragraphs, this nigga gonna come back to his senses.
Oh, you tell me about it, huh? You right.
And Terah answered his son, "Behold, those who created us are all with us in this house." He could have kept that. He know better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna prove he know better. And Abram said to his father, "My Lord, show them to me, I pray thee." And Terah brought, see, they all playing games. Abraham acting like he don't know what these things. He being cunning, man.
Right.
Using guile. "Show them to me, I pray thee." And Terah brought Abraham into the chamber of the inner court, and Abram saw, and behold, the whole room was full of gods of wood and stone, 12 great images, and others less than they, without number. Got a whole room full of abomination.
That's it.
And Terah said to his son, "Behold, these are they which made thou seest, which made all thou seest upon the earth, and which created me and thee and all mankind." And Terah bowed down to his God, and he then went away from them, and Abram his son went away with him. He had to have been disgusted watching them get down there on the floor.
Oh, he was bored. He was bored.
He held his tongue, though. I see stuff like this. I gotta learn. I'd have been like, "Man, what is you doing? Huh? You know what I've been learning? I've been learning at no house, man. This ain't it." I'd have spilled all the beans right there. That's right. I need some work. I'm working on it. And when Abram had gone from them, he went to his mother, still being cunning, and sat before her. And he said, listen to this part now. Women gonna have a problem with this. And he said to his mother, "Behold, my father has shown me those who made heaven and earth and all the sons of men. Now therefore hasten and fetch a kid from the flock and make of it savory meat." Did he say please?
No.
Did he say I pray thee? He said,
ma'am.
He said, hurry up.
Hurry up. Hasten and fetch me.
Hasten and fetch.
Hurry up. That's what hasten mean. Hurry up.
This is
we don't play that right there. Who are you talking to?
We don't have this no more. We far removed from this thing right here.
Oh, my bad, man.
It's the women in the truth. You can't talk like a husband can't even talk to his wife like this, but let a kid do it. You're gonna have pots and pans thrown around.
I'm trying to tell you with the quickness. Bing!
yeah, there'll be some picking going on.
Man.
Hey, ain't gonna be a lot of meat on that bone when they get there. No, sir. All right, we gotta get going. We got ways to go. That I may bring it to my father's gods as an offering for them to eat. Perhaps I may thereby become acceptable to them. And his mother did so, and she fetched the kid and made savory meat thereof and brought it to Abram. And Abram took the savory meat from his mother and brought it before his father's gods, and he drew nigh to them that they might eat. And Terah his father did not know it. And Abram saw on the day when he was sitting amongst them that they had no voice, no hearing, no motion, and not one of them could stretch forth his hand to eat. Real quick, see how quick he got to work? This is the first day of him being back, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Hey, when he made that vow, said that 3 days, if I don't do all this, yeah.
This day one, he got to work on that thing quick. All these people talking about one day.
He proved it. He proved. Listen, this is what he did. This is what Father Abraham did. The father. I'm talking about the father of Emunah. He proved all things, and he held fast to that which was true. So he proved it. Let me see this.
Yeah, he had a witness. He didn't just go off of
emotion and feeling.
Emotion, and no, he said, okay, I'm gonna make this food and I'm gonna leave it to them and see if they eat it.
Right.
See if they're gonna eat that thing. I'm gonna give them a shot.
Right. I'm gonna give him a shot. That's what he did. That's what he did. I mean, we gotta be honest. He proved all things. He proved it. And when he took his measures. Go ahead. That's right.
And Abram saw on the day when he was sitting amongst them that they had no voice, no hearing, no motion, and not one of them could stretch forth his hand to eat. And Abram mocked them and said, surely the savory meat that I prepared has not pleased them, or perhaps it was too little for them. And for that reason, they would not eat. Therefore, tomorrow I will prepare a fresh and savory meat. You got to have 2 or more witnesses, man.
Let me do this again. Maybe they eat today.
Like on day 2.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't seasoned enough or something, man.
Maybe he on a long journey.
Right. Do some Aliyahu on that. Yeah, he can't hear you. He in the restroom or something.
Our people been had a sense of humor, man. All this old dry, stuff, man, we got going on.
Catholic thinking.
Yeah. Therefore, tomorrow I will prepare fresh, savory meat, better and more plentiful than this, in order that I may see the result. And it was on the next day that Abram directed his mother concerning the savory meat. And his mother rose and fetched 3 fine kids from the flock, and she made of them excellent savory meat, such as her
seasoned that thing. She put her foot in it.
Now, mind you, this woman is something like a queen.
Mm-hmm.
She got servants.
Mm-hmm.
She got up and did this thing herself because her son asked her to do it.
For the prince.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Servitude, and righteousness, though. And she gave it to her son Abram, and Terah his father did not know of it. And Abram took the savory meat from his mother and brought it before his father's guards into the chamber, and he came nigh unto them that they might eat. And he placed it before them, and Abram sat before them all day, thinking perhaps they might eat. And Abram viewed them, and behold, they had neither voice nor hearing, nor did one of them stretch forth his hand to eat, hand to the meat to eat. And in the evening of that day, in that house, Abram was clothed with the spirit of Yahweh. And
that's that. Mm-hmm.
Huh? The Ruach.
Yeah, I'm saying that's the the spirit of Ruach. Go ahead and read it. We'll talk about that. Go ahead.
Okadesh. Or
no, we good. I was talking about something else because I'm thinking about Al Kana, the spirit of the zealousness of the Most High. You know what I mean? That's what I was just But we'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
And he called out and said, "Woe unto my father and this wicked generation." That thing pinging in there. Hey, look. Whose hearts are all inclined to vanity, who serve these idols of wood and stone, which can neither eat, smell, hear, nor speak, who have mouths without speech, eyes without sight, ears without hearing, hands without feeling, legs cannot move. Like them are those that made them and that trust in them. Hold on,
wait a minute. Let me say this. I got to say this real quick. Listen. for those that was in the prophecy, this prophecy spoke about the people that have eyes that see not and ears that hear not. Why did they have those eyes that see not and ears that didn't hear not? You got to realize them people were serving idols as well. And he made them like them. Stupid.
Dumb.
Dumb and stupid.
Are you ignorant?
I'm trying to tell you.
Slow of learning?
Eyes that can't see it, ears can't hear it. Look, I made you like the ones you worshiping. Stupid. And they sound crazy. Be talking to people like that. Don't stupid.
Yes.
Stupid. They can't talk.
You gotta convict that thing, man.
Deaf
We
and
don't.
dumb.
Ain't no Kool-Aid over here, man. This ain't no sweet drink.
Sweet over here.
I do got some Rejoice wine, but that's about it. Ain't nothing gonna come out of my mouth.
Deaf and dumb.
Yeah, man. We gotta give it to you, man. Ain't no point in sugarcoating this thing. If you're in a burning house, you want me to gently wake you up to tell you the house burned down, or you want me to snatch you up out the bed?
Snatch me up out that bed if I'm asleep. Snatch me!
All right, I'm gonna snatch you. I'm gonna snatch you, brother. I'm gonna snatch you, sister. That's my job. Serve. Right. Serve. Got served.
So I got to serve.
Got served. And when Abram saw all these things, his anger was kindled against his father. And see, that's righteous anger.
Mm-hmm.
Some people tell you, don't judge. Don't judge. This that man life. This that man. This a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
You know how people talk.
Right.
You can't tell a grown man what to do. His anger was kindled against his father, and he hastened and took a hatchet. See, this is what love make you do.
That's right.
Love say, listen, I'm not finna let you do this, man.
Right.
First of all, you're gonna do it with some, you're gonna find out I'm not gonna leave it standing. I'm gonna do all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to go back and redo all this, that's on you. I might come back and tear them up. I'm not just gonna sit here and watch you be wicked.
Yeah.
And he hastened and took a hatchet in his hand and came into the chamber of the gods, and he broke all his father's gods. And when he had done breaking the images, he placed the hatchet in the hand of the great God, which was there before them. And he went out, and Terah his father came home, for he had heard at the door the sound of the striking of the hatchet. So Terah came into the house to know what this was about.
Right.
And Terah, having heard the noise of the hatchet in the room of images, ran to the images, and he met Abram going out. And Abram entered the room and found
Terah into the room. And Terah into the room. Yeah.
Oh, and Terah entered the room and found all the idols fallen down and broken, and the hatchet in the hand of the largest, which was not broken, and the savory meat which Abram his son had made was still before them. And when Terah saw this, his anger was greatly kindled. Everybody mad. And he hastened and went forth from the room to Abram. He found Abram his son still sitting in the house, and he said to him, "What is this work thou hast done to my gods?" And Abram answered Terah his father and said, "Not so, my lord, for I brought savory meat before him, and when I came nigh to them with the meat that they might eat, they all at once stretched forth their hands to eat before the great one had put forth his hand to eat. And the Lord saw that they did before him, and his anger was violently kindled against them. And he went and took the hatchet that was in the house and came to them and broke them all. And behold, the hatchet is yet in his hand, as thou seest. And Terah's anger was kindled against his son Abram when he spoke this. And Terah said to Abram his son in his anger, "What is this tale that thou hast told? Thou lies to me. Is there in these gods spirit, soul, or power to do all thou hast told me? Are they not wood and stone? And have I not myself made them?
Okay.
Thou speak such lies, saying that the large God that was with them smote them? It is thou that didst place the hatchet in his hand, and then sayest, he smote them all. And Abram answered his father and said to him, and how canst thou serve these gods in whom there is no power to do anything?
Right.
Now, I want to say something before we get to this thing. Listen, man. You can't, the excuse Abraham daddy is about to give ain't worth a damn. All this go along to get along stuff, man. If you are this mindset, man, you gotta rebuke that thing, man. You gotta rebuke that thing. You can't be talking about I'm gonna do it because I'm in captivity. That's that go along to get along mind.
That's right.
Compromising.
Speak on it out.
Well, damn, compromising, man. You want to fall into the hands of the true and living Elohim, or you take a lighter and hold it up under your hand with the flame, and tell me if you feel like playing with the man that can make your whole body burn forever. You want to be indestructible in hell? I don't think y'all indestructible in hell, immortal in pain.
Burning.
This excuse this man about to give ain't worth a damn, and a lot of you got this excuse, man. You gonna have to cut this thing out, man. And Abram answered his father and said, hold on. What we at? Okay. And Abram answered his father said, how canst thou serve these idols in whom there is no power to do anything? Can those idols in which thou trustest deliver thee? Can they hear thy prayers when thou callest upon them? Can they deliver thee from the hands of thy enemies? Or will they fight thy battles for thee against thy enemies, that thou shouldest serve wood and stone, which can neither speak nor hear? How about your face mask? Can your face mask answer your prayer?
Right. You're talking about getting your face mask answer your prayer.
Prescription pills answer your prayer and save you from the hands of your enemies. Huh? Think about this. You want to know, you probably laugh at Abraham's daddy because he relying on statues for his shalom and his peace, right? But here today, we relying on so many other things. We're relying on medicine, we're relying on drugs, cigarettes, sex, money, cars, houses, women. You can rely on all. You can rely on a number of things. Wood and stone ain't the only gods you can have. It's many other gods out there. Like how Abba said, you didn't went and worship many gods of all the other nations. Everything need people worship and take after his children, then worship and went after. We didn't make himself them.
That made me think. Put me in the mind real quick. Just a little something to make the people laugh while we're doing it. But this is serious. How Kevin Hart was talking about his cousin, talking about, man, you in Hollywood doing Lord knows what, sex, money, Lord knows what you're into.
Yeah.
They trust all this other stuff.
A lot of you doing all that, and you ain't even in Hollywood. You ain't even getting no check.
Man,
you just out here selling your soul for crumbs.
Man,
even if they gave you gold bricks, it still ain't worth it.
Because you definitely can't present gold bricks and say, I got these gold bricks in the time of judgment. I got these gold bricks, take this. Nah, it ain't gonna work.
Dealing with somebody that could make your child be born with its heart outside his chest, with his eyes dangling at their sockets. They could be born like this. You dealing with somebody that got the power to do anything he want to do to make you pay for what you've done.
Right.
You want to play with that?
Right. That ain't nothing to be played with, man. That should give you a good reverence, a major fear, what people call fear for the Most High and high respect, man. No, I can't do it. Listen
to Abel, man. You finna lay a thing out. Now, listen, we know people sin and fall short, man. But if you didn't sin and fell short, man, repent of that thing and don't return, man.
That's right.
At some point, you got to be sinless now.
That's right. I can testify.
Be ye kodash, sin not. Is that not a command? Was that a suggestion? Was that like maybe you should get to the point where you don't sin? Maybe you should try that. Then he said, do it.
Do it. Get it done.
And now surely it is not good for thee, nor for the sons of men that are connected with thee, to do these things. Are you so silly, so foolish, or short of understanding that you will serve wood and stone and do after this manner?
Hold on, boy. Who you talking to? I'm your daddy. Who you talking to?
Listen, that daddy stuff.
Who you talking to?
Act like it. Act like you got more sense than me. See? That's what happens when you come and cut down some of these people about what they be doing, man.
Mm-hmm.
They want to try to act like Abraham daddy and be on some I'm your daddy or I'm this, I'm that. Who is you to talk to me like that?
Right.
Somebody trying to save your soul alive.
Right.
Trying to bring correction to you.
That's right.
So you can live and not die forever.
Oh, they don't want correction, though. Who is you? Okay.
The one with the blessed feet trying to bring you trying to bring you the Torah? What do you mean?
With the blessed feet?
The Baruch feet.
Yeah, Baruch feet, yeah. Baruch them. Mm-hmm. Baruch the Baruch feet. Bring the glad tidings. Let's get it.
And forget the Adoni, your Allah E, who made heaven and earth, and who created you in the earth, and thereby bring a great evil upon your souls in this matter by serving wood and stone. What's the payment for serving idols, brother?
Death, man.
Great evil.
Great evil. If you continue with it, it's going to eventually bring death because that evil going to bring that. But see how kind the Most High is for people that did that, how he sent people to warn them against it, just like he sent Father Abraham to warn his daddy against that abominable practices that he was doing so that he could turn and serve the living one, just like he was doing so many times down the line with the people when he was raising them up early, talking about the prophets, to send them to the people to tell them to turn from their wicked ways.
How we sent the prophets and the priests and the apostles to try to warn people and tell people to do something different.
Right, and this is the first time. Well, this ain't the first time. We had other people other than that, like in Noah's time, but doing the regeneration of the earth after we.
Hold on, Op. We lost you. I'll get you back in this thing. Something happened. Can't hear you, you finna come in like R2D2. That's that R2D2. You back
now. Yeah. Okay.
You back now, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Jingle Wire Jim, you can't stop us. Can't stop us, Jingle Wire Jim.
Jingle Wire Jim.
All right, what was we at here? 45. Oh no. 46. Did not our fathers in the days of old sin in this matter? And the Adoni, Yahweh, I don't
of the universe,
of the universe, brought the waters of the flood upon them and destroyed the whole earth. And how can you continue to do this and serve gods of wood and stone who cannot hear or speak or deliver you from oppression? What is these cigarettes and blunts and drunkenness?
Oh, wait a minute. And not only that, but then those that call themselves Hebrews are still calling the Lord in Christ, talking about J-E-S-U-S, Jesus. Back then, when our people was going through the stuff they was going through in slavery, and I'm sure that they was calling on them names and got no deliverance. Being hung up, stringed up, neutered. People call it neutered. I wouldn't call it neutered. What you call that when they
castrated?
Yeah, castrated. All that, man, buck broken, all that stuff, man. I'm sure they was calling on the name that the enemies have given to them to call on, and they received no deliverance.
None.
None.
You know how many Jim Crow era blacks was just hung up in trees in groups. They hung whole families, daddy, wife, and child hanging from trees. Don't you know they was praying to Jesus at the time they was getting hung from trees?
You better believe it. And receive no help, no deliverance. But it's salvation in that name, not in that name. They put that name in there, and then the scriptures still like it. The scriptures speak, but then they place that name in there. So when the scriptures speak, you see that name and you think it's that. That ain't it. It ain't it. If you was able to ask your ancestors to ask them, did that bring you deliverance? They tell you no. If the Most High was able to let you speak to him and talk, no. You better turn to the right one. You got him. He revealed himself. Yeah, turn to him, because that ain't it.
I tell you this, you see how like wicked people play with the name Jesus. They play with it in jokes and playing around. You don't see them playing with Yahusha.
At all.
Yahweh and all that. You don't see them playing with these real names, man. You don't.
When we were sitting there on that one of that broadcasts that other day, and dude was making fun, and I put on the house and I make fun of this name. He was silent as a church house mouse.
Yeah, stood on down. I don't play with the real things now.
Yeah.
You're a little different. You're a little different.
Right.
Out under the collar when they even think about doing something like that.
Right.
You know, so hey.
Don't play.
Truth don't need no support.
I'm telling you.
Right there. Now, therefore, my father refrained from this. Pleading, man. We pleading with y'all, man. Get his stuff up. Refrain, quit, stop, cease.
Right.
Benito. And bring not evil upon thy soul and the souls of thy household. That shows you, you know, a wicked leader gonna make wicked servants. And a righteous leader gonna make righteous servants.
That's right.
If he truly righteous, he gonna get him in order, get him in line.
That's right.
Ain't no playing around in a strong man house. You gonna get up out of there.
That's right.
If you're lucky. I mean, if you're
fortunate. Right.
And Abram hastened and sprang from before his father and took the hatchet from his father's. Lord is like, yeah, see, he ain't done yet. This thing got to be completed.
Yeah.
Lord is idols, with which Abram broke it and ran away.
He got it. Say, Father, don't do this. This ought not to be done. Spring up, get the hatchet, bing, bing, and run away.
Up out of there. And Terah, seeing all that Abram had done, hastened to go from his house and went to the king, and he came before Nimrod and stood before him, and he bowed down to the king. See, he didn't give him the excuse that I was thinking of, because it was one of them where he was like, man, I know, but
that's Jubilees, I believe. Yeah, he was telling him he said, how can he do that? They can't do nothing. I made him. I think he said that today in that one right there. How can they do that? I made them. They couldn't. I know. So why are you serving them? Right.
It was one where he said, like, that's just how the land is or whatever.
Oh, okay. I ain't seen that.
That's the law of the land or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. I hadn't read so many different books, man. Right. I could be blending them or whatever.
It's this. Yeah.
What dost thou want? Now he didn't went and told on his son to the king. What he think this man gonna say? He think he gonna talk to him? Like, this man then went to see King Nimrod, known for killing folk. The man then took a baby and bashed his head against the ground for a possibility. And you finna go give him some. This ain't the man you give bad news to.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Not just bad news, but then you finna tell on yourself that you lied to the king because he thinking he bashed Abram back in the day, and now you finna tell him that the one that you supposed to get, this is the one that he here and he doing this. Now you gonna go tell, and you gonna tell on yourself? Okay, all right.
When them lies catch up. And he said, I beseech thee, my Lord, to hear me. Now 50 years back, a child was born to me, and thus has he done to my gods, and thus has he spoken. And now, therefore, my Lord and King, send for him, that he may come before thee and judge him according to the law, that we may be delivered from his evil. Now, how does he believe? I guess he believes he gonna be under a curse. This is It's a lot of meat on that bone, man. Think about this thing, man.
Talk about it. Let me
You
hear.
sat and told this man, I know these guys ain't did what you said they did because I made them.
Right.
So what evil is he gonna be under? What evil does he got to be delivered from? So he still think these things got power?
Being able to interrogate false deities. And then, not only that, I wonder was they making money off selling them false idols? I know back in the day, later on, it was people that was doing stuff like that, making money off of selling them.
Probably had some under. Well, he made them. He was the architect.
Right.
He made them himself. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know. He could have had somebody to, draw him up to his own specifications or whatever. I don't know. It didn't really say that, but him being so high, you don't really think of him like, getting down to do no arts and crafts.
He could have. I mean, he could have.
He could have.
Yeah.
And the king sent 3 men of his servants, and they went and brought Abram before the king. And Nimrod and all his princes and servants were that day sitting before him, and Terah sat also before them. And the king said to Abram, "What is this?" Now listen, this is why we're doing this podcast, to talk about the unwavering, the fiery, and what's the title of the thing? The fiery and uncompromising faith of Abraham. Because listen, his daddy's number 2 to Nimrod, who is at this time the greatest king in the world. Right? He's like America times 100 or whatever. It don't get no higher than him. It's other kings, but they not really as powerful as him. And when he started out, he had to go with him.
Right.
Then he turned to wickedness, and then he, Most High faded back from him. But that's earlier on in the story. You have to read that on your own. But so Abraham is going before this man. Now, mind you, this man don't care nothing about killing folks. Who is this? Who is that? Is that Sus talking?
What happened?
Is that your real talking?
No. Over here? What are you talking about? You hear something over here?
Somebody said Brandon on the speaker.
Not over here. I'm in the room by myself. Hey, you just say here I am.
All right. Yeah. If I hear it again, I'm sure I'm gonna tell it. All right. Now, Abraham is about to go and stand before the most powerful man, paraphrasing, on earth at this point. Right?
Mm-hmm.
King said to Abram, "What is this that thou hast done to thy father?" He's like Nimrod. He probably not Nimrod. He is Nimrod. Yeah. I mean, like what's old boy? Nebuchadnezzar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Stronger than Nebuchadnezzar at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What is this that thou hast done to thy father and to his gods? And Abram answered the king in the words that he spoke to his father, and he said, "The Lord's God that was with thee." Oh, I was right about what I said, but
it's right here. It wasn't Terah; it was Nimrod giving the answer. Yeah.
The Lord's God that was with them in the house did to them what thou hast heard. And the king said to Abram, "Had they power to speak and eat and do as thou hast said?" And Abram answered the king, saying, "And if there be no power in them, why dost thou serve them and cause the sons of men to err through thy follies?" Mm-hmm. If you know it's wrong, why is you doing? People be like, "Man, I'm trying to quit smoking, man. I'm working on it."
Mm-hmm.
What is you doing? Why are you causing the sons of men to err through their follies?
Mm-hmm.
People seeing you, they thinking it's cool.
Mm.
Might be a cool brother. Might be a little boy watching you. He like, "Man, I'm gonna smoke Newports one day. I'm gonna smoke Black and Mild. I'm gonna be like that brother." Or whatever the sin may be, man. It's not that. I'm just saying. 55. Dost thou imagine that they can deliver thee or do anything small or great that thou shouldest serve them? And why wilt thou not sense the God of the whole universe who created thee and in whose power it is to kill and keep alive? Oh, foolish, listen here, man. Oh, foolish, simple, and ignorant king. That's unlearned. That's another
Mm-hmm.
way to say unlearned. Same thing he told his dad earlier. Woe unto thee forever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought thou wouldest teach thy servants the upright way, but thou hast not done this, but hast filled the whole earth with thy sins and the sins of thy people who have followed thy ways. Thus thou know not, or hast thou not heard, that this evil which thou doest, our ancestors sinned therein, days of old, and the eternal God throughout, and the eternal Allah brought the waters of the flood upon them and destroyed them all, and also destroyed the whole earth on their account. And wilt thou and thy people rise up now and do like unto this work, in order to bring down the anger of the Adonai, Allah of the universe, and to bring evil upon thee and the whole earth? Now therefore, put away this evil deed which thou doest. See, he pleads, man.
Yeah, repent.
He
Sure. Right.
ain't just cutting them down. He's saying change, repent, man.
That's kindness. That was a kindness. It's the kindness of the Most High Yah that
That's
calls
love.
me to repent.
That's how
Right.
you love your neighbor.
Yeah.
You gotta cut them asunder with them scripts,
Mm.
and then bid them unto repentance.
Unto repentance.
Now, therefore, put away this evil deed which thou doest, and serve the Allah of the universe, as thy soul is in His hands,
In His hands.
and then it will be well with thee.
And then it will be well with thee.
Why you
Right.
can't hell? Because you're not serving the Allah of the universe.
That's right.
You out here in folly.
Right. Do what 59 say. Put away the evil deeds
Which
and
thou,
serve the living Allah, and it will be well with thee. That's right.
and if thy wicked heart will not hearken to my words to cause thee to forsake thy evil ways,
Mm-hmm.
and to serve the eternal Allah,
Mm-hmm.
then wilt thou die in shame in the latter days.
Mm-hmm.
Thou, thy people, and all who are connected with thee, hearing thy words or walking in thy evil ways.
Mm-hmm.
And when Abram had ceased speaking before the king and princes, Abram lifted up his eyes to the heavens and said, The Adonai seeth all the wicked, and he will judge them. And when the king heard the words of Abram, he ordered him to be put into prison. And Abram was 10 days in prison. And at the end of those days, the king ordered all the kings and princes and governors of different provinces and sages should come before him. And they sat before him, and Abram was still in the house of confinement. And the king said to the princes and sages, You heard what Abram the son of Terah had done before his father, and thus has he done to him, and I ordered him to be brought before me, and thus has he spoken. His heart did not misgive him. You got to speak with courage when you speak to this wickedness.
No, with authority. Authority.
Yeah, brother, you might no, man. Now he was basically speaking to death at this point. You gotta understand, you talk to a man like that, of that status and stature, and of that temperament. We never say that man just got the power. He the type of man, he could have killed him himself right there. Took a sword and cut him down right there. This kind of mind that Terror got. I mean, no, that Nimrod got.
Oh,
you know?
Okay, you talking about Nimrod? Okay, yeah.
But Abram didn't care about none of that, man.
Right.
God didn't misgive him. He had to speak that thing and speak it plainly.
That's right.
He didn't speak to him in mysteries and wonders. Man, are you simple? Are you ignorant?
Hold on, wait a minute. He talking to the king like that.
What are you doing?
Mm.
All right. Neither did he stir in my presence, and behold, now he is confirmed in the prison. And
Oh,
therefore,
so he got hit with contempt.
yeah,
Contempt of court.
man, Abraham said, you can't handle the truth.
Mm.
I want to know why I did what I did. You sure? And therefore decide what judgment is due to this man who reviled the king, who spoke and did all the things that you heard. And they all answered the king, saying, the man who reviled the king should be hanged upon a tree. But having done all the things that he said, and having despised our gods, he must therefore be burned to death. This is why they burned our people in the Inquisition, because they refused to bow down to these other gods.
Oh, that's the same thing with not Nimrod, but Nebuchadnezzar. When he wanted to throw him in the fiery furnace, they had that same law continuing, even in that day.
Yeah. Think about it, man. That's why you know Jesus is an idol, because our people that refuse to bow down, they like, we don't know nothing about no Jesus, God, the Trinity. We don't know nothing about that.
Right. So they thing was they must be burned to death. Look, for this is the law in this matter.
The law. So that show you they got their own
Speak law. On. That's right.
Passed down from generation to generation. So Hasatan got priests.
Right. That's right.
He takes sacrifices. They sacrifice to him every day. Same thing. He got holidays. This thing real, man. We better get in line, man, and understand it's only two sides. Ain't no in between. Ain't no in between on this thing. Oh yeah, despised our gods. He must therefore be burned to death, for this is the law in this matter. You got something, brother?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
If it pleaseth the king to do this, let him order. Hold on, man. Big boy's about to go get in bed now. If it pleases the king to do this, let him order his servants to kindle a fire both night and day in that brick furnace. And then we will cast this man into it. And the king did so. He commanded his servants that they should prepare 3 days. Okay, long story short, they wants to kill Abraham. They're going to put him in the fire. His brother ended up put in the fire because his daddy squealed once again and threw his oldest son under the bus, because when his daddy hid Abraham, Nimrod asked him, he said, who told you to hide this child from me? He said, my oldest son. Haran told me. And Haran hadn't told him nothing, man.
Haran told me.
So, see, look, here it is in 13. And the king said, how couldst thou do this thing to transgress my orders and to give me a child that thou didst not beget and to take value for him? Terah answered the king, behold, my tender feelings were excited for my son at that time, and I took a son of my handmaid and I brought him to the king. And the king said, who advised thee to this? And Terah was greatly terrified at the presence to the king. It was Haran, my eldest son, whom advised me. This is also Sarah's daddy.
That's right. Sarah and Lot.
Sarah and Lot's daddy. So Sarah became an orphan because her granddaddy was a scaredy cat. His son just put him to shame. But it was her, my oldest son, who did this. Now Haran just unjustly got put up to torment, right? I think he had a chance, man, but his mind was bad. Let's get into this. But Haran did not advise his father to anything, for Terah said this to the king in order to deliver his soul from the king, for he feared greatly. That's why you can't have a spirit of fear, man. Can't be shaken. Can't be shaken.
Oh, real quick. I want to say this too for the people to realize and know this as well.
This right here, I know y'all see this as a story, but this is what goes on in the minds of men that the Most High see and recognize. That's why I was able to be marked down like this, because this is what he was thinking in his heart. Because the Most High see the hidden things of the heart, and it's like written down. And so we have this story right here presented, so we can see what was really going on in the mind of Terah when he was thinking and stuff like that. I just want to share that with the people so they can see that when if they didn't see that and know that, So let's
Good point. Good point. Good breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Haran at that time felt inclined to follow the ways of Abraham, but he kept it within himself. You can't be on the fence, man.
Mm-hmm.
I tell y'all, about to find out why you can't be stuck between two opinions. Gonna get your ass burnt. Literally. And Haran said in his heart, behold, now the king has seized Abram on account of these things which Abram did. See, it's when you hear about the righteous falling into some kind of travail. You hear about like, man, I don't know. That's them.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that if Abram prevail over the king, you want to see how it turn out.
Right.
You might not be alive when it turn out good.
Trying to tell you.
You want to wait and see. Oh, wait and see looking ass. Get yourself together, man. Pick a side and stand on it.
Right.
A lot of times, you probably going to die regardless. You may as well die standing for something than falling for anything. He might have lived 50 more years because he want to be stuck in between two opinions. Now you got to check out early. Plain. And if Abram prevail over the king, I will follow him. But if the king prevail, I will go after the king. We don't want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be like that. Let's skip on down here to the furnace. They get in the furnace, bound their hands, feet, and cord, throw them in the furnace. And Yahweh loved Abram, and he had compassion over him. And Yahweh came down and delivered Abram. Now, I think this here is probably Hamashiach right here. I don't think it's the Most High Yah.
That's every time, but that's the thing, and that's what it is. It's like when you see that right there, that same thing, even though they don't do it like how they do it in what we see in the King James Version, when you see the capital letters and stuff like that, this still, that Lord part is still will be Yahweh. It'll be that name. It's the same way there, because we don't know Al Elyon. We know the visible image are the words that we know of the visible image of the invisible one, which is the Mashiach, which comes in the name of Yahweh. So when we see and Yahweh came down or Yahweh said, we know that it was Mashiach that was speaking. You know what I mean? Because it's the word of Yahweh, right?
So, I don't want to get the people confused because, like, they could believe that, Yahweh came off the throne physically. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. So that's what teaching is for. So we tell the people the difference even now, so it won't be no confusion that Yahweh don't come off the throne, but he does send his majesty, send the Mashiach to do his bidding for him. As we see even in Moshe time when it says Malach Yahweh spoke, when it says Yahweh said, and we know it was Mashiach that was speaking that Yahweh sent to do so. And you will see that it was even when you see in the King James or whatever, you see that capital LRD that capital LRD said, and we know that it wasn't the Most High that said, because it speaks and bear witness in the prophets that most of that no one has heard Al Elyon's voice at any time, but what we heard was the Mashiach. What they heard was the Mashiach. I heard his word, heard him speaking on behalf of the one who sits on the throne forever and ever. Yeah. So no confusion, people. You heard. If you got to rewind it and hear it. And then we always available. So you can ask questions and we'll answer.
Inbox wide open. My
right.
Don't have an inbox, but you can, I can refer you over if you like to get a message to my brother.
I understand. Yeah.
Big boy,
you're messing up our service. Go sit down somewhere. You're going to get some playtime later.
You want to go to the bathroom.
He got to use the restroom.
You don't have to wait. We look at him at the door. Wait a minute, boy. We almost done. We finna try to wrap this thing up here. And Yahweh loved Abram, had compassion over him. And Adonai came down and delivered Abram from the fire, and he was not burned. But all the cords with which they bound him were burned, and Abram remained and walked about in the fire. And Haran died when they had cast him into the fire, and he was burned to ashes. For his heart was not perfect with Yahweh. And those men who cast him into the fire, the flame of the fire spread over him, and they were burned, and the 12 men of them died.
Just
So
like
you
in
see
that one
how
that's about. Mhm.
the only time the righteous get really slain is by the hands of their own people. They get martyred by their own people. He don't really let the heathen take them like that. Now I think the seven Hebrew boys and Eleazar, but they was martyred as a testimony though. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like it be a reason behind it. It don't be just a random thing scripturally when I see it.
Big boy talking to you. Oh, we got to go.
You gotta go poopy. Oh man.
They said, look, Father Abraham walked in the midst of the fire 3 days and 3 nights. He was in the fire for 3 days and 3 nights.
Yeah, that's that verse 27.
Yeah.
That was, we gonna skip around. What time frame is we on this thing here? We at an hour 50 minutes. All right. Let me bring out this other script that's after this. It comes after he come out the fire and everything. I think that's that oh, it's 12. 12. Let's skip down to 42. This is a great thing here.
42.
Uh Now when Abraham came up out that fire, Nimrod, everybody around there, they wanted to cop deuces.
Like
They wanted to
always.
worship him. They wanted to worship him and all that. Abraham told him in 38, he said, "Do not bow down to me, but bow down to Yahweh of the world who made you, and serve him and go in his ways." These niggas got white folks kissing their feet and bowing down. They should have told them what Abraham said. Don't bow down to me, bow down to Yahweh of the world who made you, and serve him and go in his ways.
Mm-hmm.
For it is he who delivered me from out of this fire.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be, it's he who woke me up.
That's right.
That saved me from bondage,
Right.
wickedness, from following after the ways of the Gentiles.
That's right.
Got white folks kissing on your feet, man. Stand them folks up, man. People think it's funny. It's something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Scriptures tell me it ought not to be done.
Mm-hmm.
The apostles ain't allow it. Abraham ain't allow it. I don't even think whatever angel that was escorting John, he didn't allow John to bow down to him. He said, "Get up, I'm just a servant like you."
Mm-hmm.
So how is regular niggas still on plantations letting heathens bow down and kiss their feet? Where is that? I had a problem with that thing, man.
A misquote of Revelations. That ain't. That's gonna be a different time. They trying to do it now. Hey, yeah, kiss my feet, kiss my boot. Ah, man, that ain't how it is. Anyway, it is he who
And
does.
it is he who created the souls and spirits of all men and formed man in his mother's womb and brought him forth into the world. And it is he who will deliver those who trust in him from all pain.
He will deliver those who trust in him from all pain. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's skip down to 42 because he about to hit his daddy with some real knowledge. And he's like, and Abram returned on that day and went to his father's house. Same daddy who told on him, snitched him out.
Mhm.
He and the men that followed him, and Abram served uh I don't need his Allah E. Big boy.
He served Yahweh Elohim all the days of his life, and he walked in his ways and followed his law.
And from that day forward, Abram inclined the hearts of the sons of men to serve Yahweh. And at
Mhm.
that time, Nahor and Abram took unto themselves wives, daughters. Oh, that ain't what I'm looking for. And the king bring all the troops, and they were running. Again. It was a point where his daddy went to visit him. Yeah, and Abram was concealed in Noah's house for 1 month until the king had forgotten this matter. But Abram was still afraid of the king, and terror came to see Abram, his son, secretly in the house of Noah, and terror was very great in the eyes of the king. Terror then came up,
Mhm.
booming. He didn't got one son killed. Really tried to get both of them killed, so he could serve his little idol god. This is what wickedness do, man. It abounds and grows, and just make you give those you love. You think the Illuminati? You think people sacrificing loved ones to the Illuminati is new? Terror been doing
Delicious.
the same.
Mm. Where they get that from? Huh?
You're right. Where you think they got it from?
Mm.
He been sacrificing loved ones since forever. And Abram said to his father, "Dost thou not know what the king thinketh to slay me?" No, dost thou not know? Yeah, Abram said to his father that came to see him, "Dost thou not know that the king thinketh to slay me and to annihilate my name from the earth by the advice of his wicked counselors? Now, whom hast thou here, and what hast thou in this land?" Like, you like, what is you doing? Why is you here, man? You try to get me killed. This man, you know this man want to kill me. Why are you here?
Right.
He lost his patience a little bit. Like, man, what are you doing? Arise, let us go to the land of. No, he still love his daddy, man. He like,
Mhm.
look, run away with me then. Let's
Right.
go. Let us go together to the land of Canaan, that we may be delivered from his hand. He's like, if he want to kill me, he probably gonna want to kill you too for coming out here.
Mm.
Let thou perish also through him in the latter days. Dost thou not know, or hast thou not heard, that it is not through love that Nimrod giveth thee all this honor?
Mhm.
Listen, man, we gotta learn, man. This stuff that we do that we don't have no business, it ain't through love that the heathen give us this. You think the heathen gave you cigarettes out of love? You think he gave you weed and then legalized weed out of love? You think these women that, you know what I'm saying, like, sin don't come to us out of love, man.
Right. Or if you intelligent and got wisdom and stuff like that, and they put you in a position of prestige that they doing it out of love for you, no.
No, they doing it to use you, get some out of you, man.
Right.
But it is only for his benefit that he bestoweth all this good upon thee.
That real quick. That's what I tell people too all the time too. I'll be like, man, these people only tolerate you. If you can do something for them, they're gonna tolerate you and put it. Ain't that they love you and care for you that they put you in a situation. If you can't do it or stop doing it, see what happened to you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Fall off.
Mm-hmm. See what happens. See the love they got for you. But he love me. They cool. We cool. See how cool they is when you fall off and ain't able to produce that they want you to produce from the reason why they put you in that position. Don't do it no more. See how much love they got for you then. How about that?
You're on the bridge somewhere.
Mm.
And if he do unto thee greater good than this, surely these are only vanities of the world.
Mm.
For wealth and riches cannot avail in the day of wrath.
Wrath and anger. Mm.
Can't take it with you, and you can't pay y'all with it.
Nah, you can't pay them off with that one. Mm-mm.
We can wrap it up with that thing right there.
That's a good one to leave off on.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And 2 hours off into this thing, we got 3 viewers. All praises. Know we had a couple ins and outs. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Mark 67 podcast. The Idol Spells.
Yeah. Hey, and real quick too, I want to share, man. All praise to the Most High Yah for those three Nefesh, the three people that's watching, man. Look, somebody told me long time ago, and I see it also that it's prevalent. It's true even in the scriptures. One man can change things. All it takes is one. Father Abraham was one who stood in the face of all that adversity. That one man did that. And then through that one man, received them promises. You and your family, my Ak right here and his family, one man bringing forth that change. Me and my family, one man bringing forth that change. And it's by the favor of the Most High Yah, all esteem to him, not to us, but to him be the esteem. And we thank the Most High Yah for that. So that one person, it can change things. And then we're going to bring forth, that's right, we're going to bring forth the praise of the Most High Yah by what we do and what we say. And that's just all it is to it, man. That's what I want to say, man. One man can change things. Just like a person came to me a long time ago and told me that. One man can, one man can change things. That stuck with me forever, man. I say forever, even though I ain't reached forever always yet, but it's with me now. And it's going to be with me tomorrow. Y'all willing, y'all permit me to wake up tomorrow. Yep.
Most High will, and he wills it. You got a righteous request, man. It's on. Listen, man. You can't be talking about, we ain't talking about change as far as you want to start a business or something, although it can be done. Like if that's, the desires of your heart and you willing to put forth what it takes. Yeah, but we talking about a righteous request as far as making an impact in the kingdom.
That's right.
Like doing righteousness, man.
That's right. That's
Abraham's thing wasn't to start a business.
Right.
To correct his father in his household. And he ended up bringing his father into the truth. His father ended up putting away his idols and serving the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Through his long suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So it can work, man. And you got to think, it took him what, about 60 years to get his daddy?
That's a long little time right there. A long little time.
Long suffering, man.
Yeah.
You got people ready to call it quits after a couple weeks.
Oh. A couple weeks.
I ain't gonna lie. After I realized he went and told Nimrod on me, we'd have a problem.
He snitched on me. Pop, you gonna snitch on me, turn me into the authorities?
After I get tossed in the fight, that show you that I got stuff I gotta work on. Because apparently that's not how I ought to be. Apparently there's a better way that produces more fruit. So, this podcast ain't just for y'all, man. It's for us too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I get cut.
Yeah.
Oh, let it not be said that I'm just a finger pointer. Right. I know I got a couple. What a camera. I know I got this many pointing back at me. I got 3 of them pointing back at me. Yeah. So anyway, all praises, man. Prayers out, brother. Let me get this dog out here to the bathroom, man.
Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam. Father Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua Mashiach, we come to you. We thank you, Abba. We thank you for the words that you have given us, the scriptures that you have given us for edification, learning, teaching, correction, doctrine, reproof. We thank you for these things, Abba Yahweh. We thank you for also giving us eyes to see and ears to hear. We thank you for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We thank you for all these things, Abba Yahweh. We ask you that you will continue to let the fire burn deeply within us, that we may be a true witness unto you in thought, action, in words, in everything that we do, that we honor you all the time. Abba. Let no guile be in our mouth.
Yes,
but speaking that truth that you have in us, Yah. May your Ruach have your way in our lives, and also that the hearers that hear us as we speak to them, Heavenly Father, they may be fully edified according to the way that you have for your esteem. Let everything that we do be done for your esteem. In the name of Mashiach Yahushua, our head, our master, our Adonai that you have given unto us. We thank you for him, and we thank you for one another. We thank you for the body. We thank you for the deliverance. We thank you that you're going to bring us out of this place and bring us back to our own land that you have promised to Abraham and to his seed forever.
Hallelujah.
Father Abba. We thank you, Abba, that you cause us to do all the works of our father Abraham, that we be truly the seed of Father Abraham in everything that we do. Tuda Rabbi Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua Mashiach, we thank you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
Boy, I'm gonna take you to
Man.
Man.
Awesome.
Brother, thank you, man. It's been a great lesson, man.
Thank you too. Thank you too, man. I appreciate you, man. You know, standing in the gap for me and everything with me and my family and the situations we went through and stuff like that, man. I want to say that publicly to you, man, to let you know I mean that, man, from the bottom of my heart, man. That's why y'all brothers, I'm telling y'all, brothers and sisters walking this walk, man, take heed to yourself, lest ye fall. But know this: if you stumble and fall, you have a advocate that you can confess your faults, and he be faithful and just to cleanse you from all unrighteousness. And dust yourself off, get back up, and keep pushing, man. The just man falls 7 times, but he get back up.
My shock say, when ye fall.
Yeah.
He didn't say if.
He say if. When.
Fall.
See that comes with an urge. See, you can't get that. That comes from training. The Most High, y'all have to give you that to hear stuff like that. Because people hear the scriptures all the time, and stuff just go over their head like a shower nozzle, and they don't even catch it. When. Yeah. The one who know the beginning from the one who know the end from the beginning.
Turn.
And then you fall.
It's a turn and lift your bro. He gave you a job to do. He said, after you fall, you got something to do now.
Right.
Turn and lift your brother.
That's right. Hallelujah, man. So this is beautiful, man. This is good. This is the work that needs to be done. And I'm glad that the Most High y'all even considered me to be a part of this in this time to do these things with my brother, with my Ak right there. And who knows, man, we could have been, you know, like we got that same spirit of the disciples, man. We could have been just like how he said, if you can receive it, John the Baptist, Yahukanan, he is Eliyahu. See, I mean, I'm just saying. So, you know, it's all good, man. So I thank the Most High y'all for that. Shout out to Elder Yahweh, all my Akeems out there, man. Y'all know who y'all are. Go ahead,
all the brothers in the men's trauma and recovery group. We about to redo that thing, man. We didn't got away from what it was started for, man. To where now it's a whole bunch of, shout out to the brothers that have been posting, but the group was started and meant to be something different. And I promise I'm gonna get back on that, man. I've been slipping on my job with that. I done got off into so many other things. We started to chop up. We just started Mark 67, but that was what really got me going. So I will be revamping the men's trauma recovery group. Be on the lookout for that. And she got the women's trauma recovery group. It will be some changes made with that as well. So be on the lookout for that, man. And all praise to the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Until next time, 12 tribes,
one nation.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.